Hey fish people, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking all about stocking options for 5-gallon aquariums. Now I have several on this shelf here, so you guys know I love my smaller tanks. So this is going to be a list of fish that I have personally kept in 5 gallons rather than fish you could keep in a 5-gallon. Wanted to keep it on a more personal note for you here rather than just, Google fish that can go in a 5-gallon. I figured I'd want more personal experience. So anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get into this video. Now, before we get started, I just want to mention these are in no particular order. I just started typing up fish that, I've kept in 5 gallons. So the top few you could say are my new favorites for 5s, but, in general, there's no really rhyme or reason to what order I put these guys in. All right, now we're going to start off here with a twofer for y'all. Betta fish, Honey Gourami. These are really no-brainers for 5-gallon tanks, as the minimum for both of these are 5 gallons. Now I'm putting these both together because they basically take near identical tank parameters and water parameters. They are also, closely related as they are both anabantuated fish. So rather than talk about them separately, figured I'd just talk about them together. So Honey Gouramis, you got a nice small, only going to get 2 to 3 inch size fish. Nice bright yellow. Sometimes you get oranges out of these guys. Just an overall good fish. Eats the same thing as betta fish too. So another thing they have identical. Now, of course, with bettas, you have so many varieties to pick from. Now, for me, if you have a 5-gallon tank, you can get short stubby ones. You can get tall cylinders. You can get column tanks. You could get regular rectangle elongated tanks. Now, if you're getting something that's taller, if it was me, I'm going to say personally stay away from ones that have larger longiflower fins. So like your full moons, your rose tails, I would stay away from those if you have a tall 5-gallon. Get something more like a plakat or an HMPK, just because those ones with longer flowing fins can tire out faster and get stressed out, and you need more resting places for them. But that's usually an issue in larger tanks. So in a 5-gallon, it really doesn't come into play as bad. But personally, that's just my rule of thumb with bettas. If I'm going to have them in a taller tank, I get something more streamlined. Smaller tanks that aren't as high, I get something that can have bigger fins. So again, bettas and Honey Gouramis, both 5-gallon, efficient. Temperature-wise, keep them about 74 to 82. I like to keep mine 78, 80. And then a pH range of 6 to 8 for both of these guys. But again, my personal range is 6.5 to 7. Moving on to our next fish, we have the Ember Tetra. Now, these fish are only going to max out around 1 inch. They got a lifespan about 2 to 4. Water temp, 72, 84 degrees. pH, about 5 to 7. Try and get in the middle there. You can comfortably get away with a group of about 6 of these in a 5-gallon, and you're going to be okay. You'll have a nice tank, nice orange fish swimming around. It'll look nice for you, and they're not that hard to take care of either. All right, we have another twofer for y'all coming up. We got shrimps and snails. Doing another twofer because, again, they could be separated, but the reasons for keeping them at 5 to me are so close together that I just want to talk about them together. So for these guys, snails and shrimp, a 5-gallon, if you're new into keeping them, and you don't want to spend a lot of money on a tank and a setup and do super fancy, 5-gallon tank is more than enough to keep shrimp and snails in just starting out. Snail-wise, you got your nerites, your mystery snails, probably the two you're going to see mostly. You could also go the assassin snail route or the trumpet snail route, or if you're a crazy person like me, keep a tank full of ram's horn snails. They look just as cool. They come in different colors. They're going to breed for you. So snail-wise, that's what I would do. But whichever one you do pick, do a little research on them. Make sure you have the right water parameters for them, pH-wise, temperature-wise, hardness-wise, all that good stuff. Feed them something with a lot of calcium in the diet so that their shells will be okay and won't degrade. Similar with shrimp, you can go the Corydina route or the Neo-Corydina route, depending on your pH. If you have softer, acidic water, go with the Corydina route. If you have harder water with a higher pH above 7, go with the Neo route. If you're a lucky person and you're the happy medium both ways, you could go either way. It doesn't matter. But again, whichever way you do choose, make sure you just do research on that specific type, and you could have a rainbow in your fish tank, depending on what you go with. Just make sure you're looking up to make sure everything is squared away parameter-wise, so you don't, end up losing all your shrimp. All right, moving right along. We've got the adorable Chilli Rasboras. Now, I personally was keeping these in a community tank, not a 5-gallon, but it's going to be the same care either way. These guys are a beautiful, tiny schooling fish. They're super cute, super attractive, and they're a nice, brightly colored fish. They're only going to get about 0.8 inches, so just over 3/4 of an inch, and they have a lifespan of about 6 to 8 years. So if you can only have one, say you're going to college and you can only have a 5-gallon tank, there you go. 6 to 8 years, that's long enough for you to get a freaking master's degree and still have these fish for 2 more years after that. And now with these guys, pH can go anywhere from 4 to 7, and temperature can go from 68 to 82 Fahrenheit. You could keep a group of 6 of these comfortably in a 5, and they're going to give you some nice schooling activity. Moving along to one of the most adorable fish, the Pygmy Corys. Now, these guys are ideal for small aquariums. They're only going to get an inch max. Mine stay about 3/4 of an inch. I don't have any that are much bigger than that. Sadly, though, they do have a short lifespan, only about 3 years, so you're not going to get as much enjoyment out of these guys as some other fish. Temperature-wise, they can take a range of 72 to 79, and for a pH, you're looking at 6 to 8. And again, 5 gallons, you could get a group of 5 of these comfortably. Moving right along to the clown killifish, which it's one of the smaller killifish and does have nice colorations to it. They're only going to get about 1.5 inches. Water temp, you're going to want to keep them between 68 to 80 and a pH of 4 to 7. So if you don't have a heater in your tank, this would be an option for you because you can go to a lower temperature. Or if you live in a really hot place, don't need a heater, and your house is constantly hot, you got the higher end of the spectrum for these guys as well. You could do a pair of these if you want to try and breed them in your 5-gallon, or get a group about 5 or 6 fish and you'll have some fun times out of them. Now, one of my new all-time favorite nano fish, the CPD or Celestial Pearl Danio or Galaxy Rasbora, or the other long amount of names they go by. Newer fish to the hobby. 2006, I believe, is when they were discovered. Not sure about the full date, but I got a video on them, so there you go. They look like miniature rainbow trouts to me, or some type of trout, in my opinion. Their bodies have orange accents on their fins. They have like golden orangey spots in along their green-brown body. They're hard to describe, but picture video. They're beautiful. Get these, get these, get these. Make sure they are captive bred, though, because there was an issue where we almost made these guys go extinct again. It's all in that video I did, so check that out. They're only going to get about 1 inch, and they are extremely cool nano fish. Perfect for, these smaller 5-gallon tanks. pH-wise, 6.5 to 7.5, temperature 72 to 80, so nothing crazy there. They got an average lifespan of about 3 to 5, and I've heard they're not entirely that hard to breed, so you can always give that a try if you want to. And coming up next, the Dwarf Emerald Rasbora, or the Emerald Dwarf Rasbora. I've heard it both ways. These guys are a small size fish, only going to get between 1 to 1.5 inches, which again makes them perfect nano fish. Only got a lifespan of 3 to 5 years, so all you college kids out there looking for a fish, there you go. They're adaptable to most tank environments, and they can take a pH of 6.5 to 8 and temperature of 68 to 80. Now, I keep mine at 76 degrees and at a pH of 6.5. These guys are extremely beautiful. I've seen some aggression in the males, but that's just, males being males. They're also a schooling fish, so, a group of 5 to 6 of these guys, and you'll be all set. 5 gallons. Mine have been in a 5-gallon for a year now. Group of 6. They're doing good. They even had a beta mate for a little while. Next up, the blue neon rasbora. Cool little fish I found on Aquahuna one time when I was searching around. These guys are a stunning nano fish in my opinion. They've got a bluish-green body with a nice iridescence to them. They're going to come from an area with a pH of 4. So tank-wise, anywhere from 4 up to 6.5 for a pH is going to be okay. Temperature-wise, 72 to 80. Group of 6 or more. Start out with 6. and you're going to be good to go with these guys in a 5-gallon. They got a lifespan of about 2 to 5 years, and they are an egg layer if you wanted to try and breed them. I haven't heard anyone that has bred them before, so they might be a little bit difficult, but you can always give it a shot if you want to have a cool breeding project. And before we get to the last fish on this list, I just want to mention the 2 fish that I omitted from this list because I haven't kept them. And again, I wanted to give you guys a list of fish that I have kept. So 2 more options if you want to get them are the scarlet batis or the pea puffer, which are also 2 fish that are relatively high on my list of fish I want to get. Pea puffer, solo 5-gallon tank, you're good to go. Scarlet batis, you can do a couple in a 5. Both fish are stunningly gorgeous. You'll get some cool interactions with them. But again, didn't keep them, so I didn't want to put them on this list officially. All right, the last official fish on this 5-gallon fish tank stocking list. Say that 5 times fast. That one's a tongue twister. The beautiful Eye Rasbora, which I think is an extremely underrated nano fish in this hobby. It's a beautiful schooling fish. These guys have an elongated body with a very prominent dorsal fin, which has a yellowish tint to them with a black dot. Now, the rest of their body is going to be a silverish color with a somewhat transparent iridescence to the whole body. They're just gorgeous. If you can get your hands on them, go ahead. Their eye is a nice deep emerald, and it will reflect any light that hits it. So it's going to give you'll look at the tank and there'll be a pop of light and you'll be like, what was that? So it's kind of like you hit tinfoil with a flashlight. They're gorgeous. Get them if you can get them. Tank-wise, pH of 6 to 7.5 and a temperature of 72 to 80. You can get away with a school of about 5 or 6 of these in a 5-gallon tank. And now with all the fish mentioned on this list, food, extreme nano, Hikari micro pellet, those are going to be staples with all of these. Live baby brine shrimp, freeze-dried daphnia, freeze-dried bloodworms, freeze-dried tube fixed. Those are what I would feed all of the fish on this list, and they would happily accept it. Everything. And all these fish, of course, will love live plants. I have live plants in all of my tanks, even my small ones. This tank's only a 2.5, and it's full of Java fern. I got anubiases in all my 5s. If you're not a plant person, anubias is a great route to go. $10 and your plant will take off. It's a low light plant, so you don't have to do anything super crazy. But definitely plant up these 5 gallons because in a 5-gallon tank, keeping water clean can be a problem. And you don't have much room for correction in tanks of these sizes. So live plants are going to help give you a wider safety net with them. So keep up on your water changes. Feed them a good food. Extreme Nano, Hikari Micro Pellets. Those are my 2 go-tos for all my smaller nanos. Live plants. Can't stress it enough. Live plants, clean water. Those are the 2 cardinal rules for me with nano fish. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your favorite nano fish. And before we sign off here, I want to give a thank you to all the members of the channel. If you don't know, $3 a month gets you membership access to this channel, which gives you exclusive emails for live streams. It gives you a cool little badge. It gets you monthly members only live streams, members only videos, and a bunch of other, exclusive perks for members. So thank you again. Here's the list on screen now of all the members currently active. And if you have not already and you enjoy this kind of content, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out and support me a lot. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. And until next time, I'll see you guys around.